In the process of setting up for this video, I have broken possibly every nail I could possibly break, and I have dumped out one of my flowers onto the ground so that there's a huge mess all over my floor that I had to clean up. But we're gonna get over it, we're gonna move forward, we're gonna relax with some nice Jade Summer mandalas. We have to. I've had a really rough week and I need something to relax too. So going forward, we're just gonna look at the positive and do some reflection. I'm gonna color and chat. I'm gonna use some of my favorite markers. These are the OHUHU brush tips, and they are the Pastel set. I just picked some random colors that kind of reminded me of Easter, and I figured we would go with these because reasons, no real reason. But I did just want to put a disclaimer out there. This is probably my first art video out in the new studio space without any kind of extra light. I'm strictly using the natural light. If the shadows bother you or if it is still too dull, please let me know so I can make adjustments and add regular lights in the future videos. All I want to do is make some good content for you guys and have a nice time where we can color together, relax, chat. But if you can't see it, that defeats half the purpose. So let me know what you think, if the lighting's okay. Hopefully this video is not upside down like my last one for some reason was. That was a whole other story. But anyway, getting into it, I just want to get started on something simple. Like I said, this is the Intricate Mandalas coloring book by Jade Summer. I have been starting in these again lately, trying to get past the whole intimidation factor of them, mostly because it's kind of nice having a pattern, not having to think too much on like details of a character, like hair color, that kind of stuff. I just want something easy, and I'm not even gonna lie. My brain is so fried right now after everything that's been going on, after my work weeks, after my work days, that I just can't even manage. I had wanted to get a video out for you guys around Wednesday, kind of like a, you know, just a check-in kind of Wednesday thing, just something simple, but I couldn't even do that. I was so tired, I was so beat down. So I figured I would make a video on Saturday and get it out to you guys ASAP. And just something to relax to, something to color to if you guys are doing that also. Nothing too big, nothing stressful. And I'm actually very thankful that I have this opportunity today. I'm really wanting to use my alcohol markers. One of the big reasons that there was a lapse in my posting previously was because I had a really bad injury. And I never had the chance to talk about it on this channel because right about the time I finally started getting it looked at and getting it looked into, the hurricane hit, Hurricane Ida, that very nearly destroyed my apartment. And in fact, there were several apartments in my apartment complex that were completely destroyed, completely gutted. People lost everything. It was awful. And a big part of what that was is that over in our section, like the city itself came off kind of okay. Like a lot of people did lose their roofs and stuff, and there was damage. And I'm not trying to reduce, you know, anything anybody has gone through. But our section was actually one of the ones where the pumps had stopped working. And so there was a section of our apartment complex that someone has sent me pictures of, and you could literally see standing water over the tops of cars that were parked. So it definitely flooded really bad, and the water had come up to the very door of our apartment. But luckily we were just high enough that we didn't have water intrude, and there was no damage to the building itself that we were staying in. Anyway, kind of went off topic there, because that's been a big one I've always wanted to kind of talk about and catch up on, but never had the chance. Right before that hit, I started having a lot of pain in my hand, and as you guys can tell, I'm a lefty. And what's happening is, it's not these fingers that are for carpal tunnel, it's these three fingers only, like these three here. And it's from the knuckle down, and then it comes right into here. And it will hurt so bad that I literally am unable to hold a pen. And that had started up again recently. And I mean, this kept me out of commission for a while. I couldn't write, I could barely type, and my job is nothing but typing. So that was really hard on me, because the only thing the doctor said was, well, take time off. Well, not everybody could take time off. Not everybody has that much PTO or has that liberty, you know? And So the doctor was kind of not very helpful and just gave me some NSAIDs, which don't work, by the way. Neither does the stupid brace. And so I'm sitting there in all this pain, and you know, I can't hold alcohol markers. I can barely hold a pen to write my name. I can't hold a paintbrush. That was really, really hard on me, and I started going through some hard times mentally because of that. I'm a very active, like, creative person, and if I can't draw, if I can't write, if I can't do something with my hands, it's not good. I can't seem to get my mood up. I can't get out all my frustrations and my thoughts. Like, that's how I process things, is with my artwork, with my writings. And when I couldn't do that, I was in a really bad place. So the videos had stopped because I literally was unable to do them. And I felt bad. Maybe I should have made like a update video, but I was just in such a funk that I didn't want to. And unfortunately, it's started up again. And I had to see my new doctor about it because we have recently moved, and he's kind of stumped too. He doesn't know what it is, and I keep telling him it keeps coming back. It went away, and now it's coming back again, and it just gets worse and worse, and then it'll go away. And so thankfully today, it's actually okay. It's not hurting. So I figured I would go ahead and jump on it and get a little video out with some alcohol markers like I've been wanting to use, and just have some fun while I can, because who knows what's gonna happen next. I'm hoping whatever it is with this hand, because it actually affects my right hand too, to a lesser degree. The same fingers, same problem, but it's to a lesser degree because I don't use it as much. So I'm just hoping whatever it is, it's kind of like, I don't know, past its phase or whatever, and it's not gonna bother me for a little bit, because I really wanna get back to doing some stuff. I've done some really adorable illustrations in my sketchbook that I wanna show you guys. But I'm not sure if I should wait and do like a whole sketchbook like reveal type thing like a lot of people do, like, oh, this is how I filled up my sketchbook, or if I should just show you the ones I really like and be like, hey, you know, watch me color some of my favorite illustrations. What I would love to do actually is I kind of want to get a tablet, because I want to be able to make coloring pages and have you guys color along with me with my favorite stuff, you know, like my favorite illustrations, have you color along and do that sort of thing. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I think some of them would really appeal to some of you guys, but I don't know. Right now, I just gotta take care and not destroy my hand in the process. But right now, like, this is fine. This doesn't hurt, so we're good. And this is way darker a blue than I thought it was. Oops. And see, this is what I was talking about in one of my videos. I think it was the last one I had mentioned briefly, like the Pastel OHUHU set kind of bothers me because it's not as pastel as I wanted it to be. And like, these colors are a really good example. I don't mind the yellow. The yellow is really good compared to what the base set OHUHU colors are. But like, this blue is really dark. And so is that red, actually. It's kind of like, I wouldn't consider that necessarily a pastel color, but who knows? I mean, maybe that's just me being a complainer. It's still beautiful. I still like them a lot, so I will not keep on that tangent. But it wasn't what I was expecting when they were talking about the pastel set. I was hoping for a little bit different. So there's that. I also, when we moved, we reestablished with our vet, and my poor 14-year-old dog had to go in for her senior panel. She hasn't been to the vet in a while, so she had to get all her shots. I wanted to get her a senior panel for her blood work and make sure everything's functioning okay, make sure she's healthy and all that good stuff. Y'all, that dog cost me close to $1,200 in less than 2 weeks. And that's to get her teeth done. That was to have her, I'm just gonna do yellow again. That was to have her teeth done, to have her like exam, blood work, something else, all her shots and stuff. I mean, it's expensive. And that's like over 2 of my paychecks. It's like all I'm doing is working to pay these bills. But I mean, that's the story of everybody's life lately. I can't really say anything. The cost of everything has just gone up so much. Do I want to do... I'm gonna add more yellow up here. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what this is really supposed to be. When I originally started, I was gonna make it like kind of like a flame, and then that totally didn't happen. I went off on a tangent, and then I lost my place. Man, I do not have very good control of these markers today. I'm kind of glad I'm not doing my own illustrations. I would have messed them up, but that's okay. So it's, even at the new house, I was able to keep my job with my current employer, and it's been very exhausting. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of people not showing up for their work. It's a lot of being shuffled around and just a lot of stress. And if ever there was a time that I wish I did not need a job, it's been now. I really am kind of at my wit's end. I don't really know what to do with myself. So I'm just kind of like trying to go with the flow without losing my mind and not being very successful. Friday was the worst. We had basically 2 supervisors out, a bunch of people called out, and it was just, everybody was angry and nasty. All the doctor's offices were just upset about something. And then, you know what, I'm gonna make all these yellow. I'm gonna do that. I'm making an executive decision. I can't decide what I really wanna do with these, but yeah, everybody was just like in a mood. I don't know if it was the freaking full moon or what, but like everybody was upset and irritated, and everybody was like carrying on and getting on to everybody else, and I'm just, ugh. It's one of those, you know? It's like, it's a Friday, this should be an easy day, but it wasn't. It was not. That happens though. Sometimes, you know, tempers get short, and I, over anybody, cannot say anything about that. I am pretty well known for letting my opinions be kind of spilled out there sometimes. But I am thankful to still have a job right now, and they were able to work it out so that I could work remotely with them, so that's been nice. I don't really want to work in an office anymore anyway. I really like being at home. As long as I do my work, I don't think there's a reason that I should have to go anywhere. Like, just let me stay home, stay in my pajamas. Which usually I do actually get dressed. I don't sit in my pajamas all day, but it's, you know, tempting. I'm just gonna do yellow here too. I don't usually like to have the colors touching, but I think that's where I kind of ran into a problem with this, because I don't want the red on the red or the blue on the blue, so I'm just gonna make it yellow. I really didn't think about this before I started it. I'm really curious what the green's gonna look like on top of this, so I think it's a bright green. So let's see. But something that I am, oh God, see, this is such a dark green. Why did they do this? Something that I find a lot of solace in, even with my crazy hectic job, is my garden. And I really need to make a video showing you guys my garden and my art studio. Because 1, I'm very proud of it, and 2, I think it would be interesting for some people just to kind of see. I've been noticing there's a lot of like, almost like book tours, like all my coloring books, a lot of those kind of videos coming up on the channels lately. And that would be kind of cool, except for the fact that I really don't have that many coloring books, so that would be the shortest video ever. What I think would be fun is kind of sharing like the creative space with you guys, so you can see just how far the rabbit hole goes with all of my hobbies. And there's a bit, I don't think that I've even touched on all of them with you. But I I have had thoughts of doing some of them on the channel. I just don't know if anybody would be interested. But I think it would be cool to kind of show you like the new art studio. The studio is dedicated only to my art space and my stuff like that. I was very lucky to be able to find a house that had like an extra add-on bedroom. So one of the original rooms in the house has become just like my art space. And I could show you my attempt so far of painting Stitch. I think he's kind of possessed right now. He's very much in the ugly stage of his painting, and I think you guys will get a kick out of it. So maybe I'll do that too. And I just realized like these are very primary color looking, and then you just have this random green. Maybe I should have just left it the primary colors. That would have been an interesting little challenge. Oh well. So that might be something I do. And what I would really like to include in that video, the whole reason I started talking about it, my brain is so scattered right now, I can't even stay on topic. I found myself trying to talk to Anthony and I could not form proper sentences, so I'm surprised I've made it this far. The reason I would like to kind of show you guys the garden is because it's a huge transformation. One of the reasons that I really liked this particular house was it had a really big backyard. And I mean, it's a good sized backyard. We have a double garage basically, which I think the homeowners had added on to it. I don't know. It's a gigantic garage for Anthony to have his workshop and his little gym, which isn't so little. He's got like legit equipment in there. And then it had a really big backyard, which was a plus for me because we do have the dog and I really wanted to garden. It wasn't a requirement, but I really had a good time gardening, even in New Orleans when I just had a stoop. If I could make tomatoes grow 6-7 feet tall in a container on a stoop in New Orleans, I really wanted to see what I could do with a proper garden space. And it has gone so well. I basically talked Anthony, excuse me, I talked Anthony into having a giant, it was a dump truck basically. It was about 7 yards of dirt delivered. And we used our moving boxes. We kind of covered a section of the yard in our moving boxes to kind of lay down and kill the grass, kill the weeds. We put a bunch of dirt down. We mixed in some compost with it, just like bags of black cow or something. And from there, we had essentially made a ready to go garden bed that wouldn't have as many weeds, which I don't really mind weeds. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird in that way, but like they don't bother me like they do some people. I'm part of some gardening groups and like, I don't know, people will go to like crazy lengths to just get rid of their weeds. I'll just pull them, it doesn't really bother me. But it'll help give a nice foundation for the stuff that's there. And we had some little garden beds set up for about 3 different types of tomatoes. We have about, honestly, we probably have about 6 or 7 cherry tomato plants, which I call, really they're supposed to only be 4 plants. But my mom gave me some transplants that she had started from seeds, and they were what I call sisters, meaning she gave me some cells with multiple plants in them and I just didn't thin them because I knew better and I didn't do it. So then basically you have 2 giant tomato plants just growing right next to each other and tangling into each other, which is a huge mess. I really shouldn't have done that and I knew better, but oh well. It was fine, and it's still working out fine, and they're all producing and they're not really having any problems. The biggest problem I seem to have right now is the aphids, but even that's not the worst problem in the world. Do I want to do red or, yeah, I'm gonna do red, screw it. So we've been getting a ton of cherry tomatoes. That's been really nice. And we're just excited to see how the big ones are doing. And it's strange because a lot of people, you know, start their In northern Florida, a lot of people start their bigger tomato varieties way earlier because at this point it's what they call the rainy season, and it's very, very hot. And if you get a ton of uneven watering, your tomatoes are gonna split. And every one of my big ripened tomatoes have split. But I'm still okay with it. Like, I haven't had one I've been able to eat, but just having them out there healthy and just, you know, they attract pollinators. So what are they hurting? They're just, you know, they're doing their thing. I didn't have anything else there anyway. And, you know, we're good to go. And Anthony, so I think I've started getting the gardening bug into him because he went to get some wood to build me some trellises for the tomato plants, which, by the way, my cherry tomatoes were only supposed to get about 4 feet tall, and they are now taller than I am, and I'm like 5'7". Yeah, 4 foot my butt. And so he went to get some lumber to build me some nice tomato trellises, which are gorgeous, by the way. I love those things. They work so nicely. But while he was there, he comes home, he's like, I got a watermelon plant. I'm like, a watermelon? He's like, yeah, I figured we would try it, see how it would work. So now we have a watermelon plant in the backyard. We have about 3 different variety of tomatoes, 7 of which are cherry tomatoes, 7 of which are the Better Boy or something to that effect, and 7 of which are, God, what's the other one? I don't remember what the other variety is, but she's very pretty. And they're all very healthy. And we have like flowers planted in between to kind of lure in the pollinators and add some nice, you know, just, I keep wanting to say texture, but it's not a painting, it's an actual thing. So I guess like just adding in some nice variety, adding in some, you know, something pretty to look at. And then we have a dirt field from where we brought in the rest of the dirt, and we scattered a ton of wildflower seeds. And our thought with that is, like, if we can get some wildflowers to grow, it'll kind of provide some nutrients for the plants for when we decide to move forward and plant in the fall. It'll have, because what we bought was topsoil, so you can't really plant well in topsoil without adding nutrients to it. So our thought was, go ahead, grow some wildflowers, let them die in there, you know, overwinter in there, or, you know, whatever. And at least in the spring, we'll have nice ready soil, and we'll just amend it and we'll add more stuff to it at that time, but we'll have some like pretty wildflowers with pollinators and stuff in the meantime. And I am butchering this coloring page. Good God. I really don't like how this one's coming out, but I'm just gonna keep going. You don't always like how things work out. I really should have spent more time like picking better colors, but I was so insistent on using these pastel colors that don't look very pastel to me right now. So I'm just gonna use a bunch of yellow. If anything, this makes me think of like a kid's toy, like a kaleidoscope. I don't know why. I think it's just like the yellowy, the primary colors that's doing it for me. I don't know. But I've been doing a lot of work out in that garden and I'm enjoying it. I about killed myself when we were shoveling and doing all that stuff with that dirt. Like, I'm 34 years old. I was out there one morning, on Saturday morning, shoveling dirt at like 6:30, and I didn't stop till it was like 10 o'clock. And I felt the pain in my back, but I didn't stop. And it was kind of like the low back, like where your lumbar spine is, almost like a sciatic pain, because it affected my hip for sure, like my left hip. I could feel it when I turned certain ways, and when I moved, I could really feel it then. So I felt these sciatic pains, and I kept going because I was so close. But eventually, you know, Anthony came out there and got me, and he made me stop. Because I think he realized that, one, I should have been done way before that point, and two, he was kind of starting to notice the wincing. It's like you know, he didn't want me to get too injured, and I was okay the rest of the day, but the following day I felt it, and then I was okay, and then I was fine, and there was no pain, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, the pain came back. I was getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, because, you know, I do that like 90 times a night, and it was such a sharp, bad pain. I didn't even think I was going to be able to go. I got up and I was like shuffling like a 90-year-old, like how when people pretend like they're 90 and they just kind of shuffle very, very slowly. That was me. That was me, and it hurt so bad. Anthony had to help me get dressed the next morning. I was not able to physically like lift my legs. I had to have help getting dressed because it hurt so bad. And then I had to go sit in front of that stupid computer for 8 hours while I worked. And it hurt so bad to sit. It hurt to do anything. But thankfully that seemed to kind of cool off. So whatever I did, it must have just kind of eased off and went away. I really don't like the way this is coming out. Maybe it's like a painting and it's just in its ugly phase. Ugh. I don't think so though. I think this is gonna be a hard one to look at, guys. I'm not amused. Oh, okay. Let's just, I don't even want to do that though. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. My colors are gonna be touching. I'll live. I don't know how I'll live, but I will. I don't know why. I have such an OCD about things touching. I don't like when my food touches. I don't like when my colors touch. It's weird. I'm weird, and that's okay. We're all a little different. We have our quirks. But yeah, so it would be really nice if I could go like a week without injuring myself doing something. And so I'm kind of like just trying to chill and hold on to a little bit of my money right now. I think we're all kind of in that boat though, because things have gotten so expensive. I'm really trying not to buy things that I'm not going to use. That includes like coloring books or art supplies, and that's hard for me. I'm trying not to go to the garden store, which I might need to go anyway. Because I bought blueberry plants, and they aren't doing so hot. Like I bought 3, okay? And if anybody knows what's wrong with these things, please tell me, because I want them to live. I bought 3 blueberry plants from the local hardware store, which may have been my first mistake. Because I know people are kind of like hit or miss with that. Like you really need to go someplace local, you'll get better stuff. And I have found a local nursery, so I plan to go there next spring. But in the meantime, I have these 3 blueberry plants, and they were fine at first, and then they started getting really brown leaves. They dropped all their flowers. And I think it was because first off, I didn't water them properly at first. And I also think it was because I left them in the nursery pots, like I didn't transplant them right away. And I never thought about it because the people said that they could be grown in pots, but you can only keep a plant in a pot for so long before it gets root bound. And I think that might be part of what was happening, because I actually had 2 extra larger containers, and I filled them with soil, like good garden, good potting soil for like containers. And then I put in some perlite so they had really good draining soil. And I cut back all the dead stuff so that the plant could focus on keeping the green alive. And they seem to be doing better now that I moved them to a different pot. They are they have new growth, they're really, you know, leafy looking. And it just doesn't look as sad as it did before. So I had 2 pots, I had 3 plants. The third one looks horrible. I really think I need to get it out of the nursery pot and either into the ground or into a better potting situation, because it's, the poor thing, I feel so bad. I hate when my plants die. Sometimes you can't help it, you know, but sometimes it just needs something. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get more potting mix tomorrow and at least 1 more container so I can get it into a similar situation like the rest of them and give it the best chance at surviving till spring, because I don't want to really transplant. See, I can't talk, I told you. I don't want to transplant them until spring, when the temperatures are going to be better and the ground isn't going to be as boggy from all this rain we get and things like that. I was supposed to go today, but then we were getting storms today and I just didn't want to go anywhere, so I decided to do this instead. And then the storms passed and now it's all bright and sunny and it's 1,000,000 degrees again, so story of the life of a Floridian, I guess. I also sound very nasally for some reason. It's bugging me. But I don't know. That's just kind of how things have been lately. I really want to go to the beach. Like, that's what I want to do. I just want to go to the beach. But it's either been really hot or it's been a holiday, or I've just been so tired. And that's probably been a really big thing, is I'm exhausted physically and mentally by the end of the week. I can't. But that's why I'm trying to start this again. It's always kind of something to look forward to. I can just kind of like talk to you guys, and you know, you guys can't talk back necessarily, but it's almost like having therapy with a lot cheaper. So that's been nice, but I'm proud of myself for still trying, even with all this stuff that's going on, and like my hand, which thankfully it's not giving me any issues right now, but I'm worried that it will again soon. And maybe if it does start to give me a problem, maybe I can make a different kind of video, or just do, like, depending on how bad it is, maybe I'll just do a painting video or something, if I'm able to do that, okay? I really kind of hate the way this looks. I'm not even gonna lie, it's so bad. Oh God. It's been a hot minute since I've done this, and you can tell. Something I have been really kind of eyeing though. I have an entire box of like crafting supplies. And maybe I should, if I make a video about, you know, my art room, maybe I'll show you guys. When I say crafting supplies, I literally mean like, it's a box of like craft materials for terrain and things like that. Like, it's foam, it's all kinds of glue, and I have so much craft paint, things like that. And I think that would be really fun to do. And I don't know why I've been thinking about this lately, but maybe you guys can give me some ideas. I really want to do like a diorama, and I kind of want to do it of the tower from Tangled. I really want to do Rapunzel's tower. I really like that movie. I thought that was a very cute movie. I know it's like from forever ago, but I haven't seen any of the current Disney releases or anything. And I really, when I watched it last, I just kind of got it stuck in my head that that would be such a cool thing to have. Just like as a little desk decoration or something. So I've been really wanting to try to make it. But at the same time, it's kind of daunting because it's, I don't know, it's awkward. So I'm trying to think of like how I could make it, because it's so tall and then it's top heavy. It's like, how can I make it and it keeps standing? these weird ideas of things that I want to do, and then I get distracted or get too tired or whatever else is going on. I also, I know I've mentioned this before in my videos, and I'm really annoyed about this, so I have to talk about it. I had to get a new computer, right? So we got a Mac, because Mac has a, oh God, I can't even think. Mac has it has an editing program included, iMovie. That's what I'm trying to say. It has iMovie, so I wouldn't need like an external editor or anything like that. And it has some pretty decent uploading options for, you know, social media and things along those lines. So we went with that because it was good on several fronts. I could do my writing on it when I eventually purchased my subscription for Windows. I could use it for several different things that I like to do. And one thing I wasn't really considering when we bought it was the fact that I wanted to do video games on it, which I'm not usually a PC gamer. I think I've never gamed on PC, but you know, this is a powerful machine. It should be able to handle it, and it actually can. I have actually started downloading some mods for Stardew Valley, and I would like to start streaming that and maybe give you guys some different kind of content to listen to in the background, or you know, whatever, if you just like Stardew Valley, or if you don't. That's something that I really want to do, is start working on videos with that also, or just streams with that, because I love that game, you guys. Words cannot describe how much I love Stardew Valley. I love that game more than I love probably Animal Crossing. Like, that's my game. I love it. And I wanted to try a few different things too once I realized how to like basically do mods and things like that. I was like, oh well, I've heard there's some really good options for some other games that I used to really like. Like, I thought it would be fun to do Dragon Age or Elder Scrolls, not Skyrim, like Oblivion. I wanted to play Oblivion. And I thought that would be kind of cool to stream too. And of course, that is only available for Windows. And that makes me so sad. Because all I want to do is like just have some fun and have a machine that'll do it all. And clearly that's not the case with my Mac, because it's not available on Steam. But if I can figure out how to get the capture card to work with the Mac, because apparently Mac decided they needed to have a special port or something, or USB or something, to be able to work with the capture card, then I would be able to do video games on it as well, like on consoles, because I have some of these games on console that I could just play the regular vanilla game. But then I wouldn't get the experience of the mod, which is okay. I mean, I would play Elder Scrolls again. I mean Oblivion, not Skyrim. I mean, Skyrim was fine, and Skyrim is kind of fun. I never finished Skyrim though. I have never finished that game. Just like I have never finished Fallout 4. I have never finished Fallout New Vegas. I just never finished those games. I did finish Oblivion, but I think the issue that I start to get with like the other games is that I get so distracted by like the side quests. I never do the original one. So like I'll be running around just like delivering people's mail or something instead of going to fight like, I don't know, the big bad of the game. And I will have so much fun doing that until one day I just put it down and I'll go back to it. Because that's what I do. It's my short attention span. And I can tell you, excuse me, one game that I really, really enjoyed. No, there's two that I have to start playing again, and I really want to play with you guys, or play where you guys can watch if you would like, is Soma. I I never finished that, but that was a good game up to where I got. And I put that down because we were moving and I never picked it back up. I want to finish Soma and I want to finish Outer Worlds. And it's sad because Bethesda has this new Star or something that they're working on. Like it's the new, oh my god, they're coming out with this amazing game. Instead of Elder Scrolls or instead of Fallout, they're coming up with this Star or something. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, so basically this is a boring, from what I saw, which is very, very brief, don't get me wrong, it's very brief look. It's like, it looks like a very boring version of Outer Worlds because it's Bethesda. Bethesda's gonna have their same setup with the NPCs where you don't really have personality, you don't really have growth. There's nothing that goes on outside of your conversation with them. The world is very just, I don't know, I guess they're going for realism as opposed to when Obsidian did Outer Worlds, which was just assault to your senses because there was color everywhere and it was so exciting. I thought that game was beautiful. I loved it. It was imaginative. And like my favorite thing was that the NPCs interacted with each other as well as you. So you'll be walking down the street and then you hear two of them arguing about something or like apologizing for stumbling into the other person's bed because he was drunk the night before or something like that. The first time I heard Felix say that to the priest, I about died because I was so excited they were having a conversation. But I don't know, maybe I'm just a fangirl of that, but I really want to finish that game. I picked it up twice and I never finished it because I got distracted by other stuff. Because I'm, you know, ADD or something. I'm not gonna finish this, I don't think. Not on camera, at least. I've been babbling for a while now. I'm surprised I had this much stuff to talk about, to be honest. And I think it was just because there was a few announcements that came up with video games. But I do know that I am going to try to make some plans to do some streaming. I would like to maybe do some coloring streams if I can figure out how to set that up. I'm wondering if it's something that I would be better off with like using an iPhone or something like that to do. I'm not sure how other people set it up, and I haven't really had the desire to look until now, so maybe I need to take a closer look at those sorts of things. I would like to do more art related stuff with you guys on stream, but I would also like to do some video games and just chill out, not have to dig out all my stuff, not have to get my art stuff all set up. Just kind of like a different form of relaxation and just kind of hanging out. The last thing I'm gonna do is put a border down, and I think I'm gonna be done because it's awful. I don't like this. I don't think I want to finish. I don't know. I keep thinking if I just go a little further, it won't be so bad, but... And then I got marker everywhere because my hands are unsteady right now. Ah! It's one of those days. I told you it was one of those days. This is why we weren't supposed to make this video, because it looks awful. It's alright. Not everything's gonna turn out beautiful. But I don't know if anybody has some super plans for the weekend, but I hope you do. And I hope you guys are able to relax and just kind of get the rest you need to gear up for the rest of the week. I've been seriously putting some thought into taking a day or two off of my 9 to 5 because, oof. And the bad part is, like, I don't even have that much time to take, but I'm just so fried and I'm almost afraid not to. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked these colors. I really don't. It's okay. Do you guys ever do that? Like the last time I did one, I chose a mandala that was nice, you know, it was more intricate, I think. And I just kind of randomly picked the colors. And I was thinking of doing that again today, but there's so many like sandy colors in that pastel set. I was like, I don't want to risk getting one of those. I'm starting to think that would have been better than this. Always go with your instinct. But, oh, I don't know, maybe it's not that bad. It's kind of growing on me the more I see it, and the more I look at it through the camera, the more I don't hate it as much. I think it's just like the green is so, I don't even know if it's the green that bothers me. I don't know. So if any of you do like video games out there, what games are you excited about? I would talk about movies or TV shows or something, but I don't really watch those. I never got on the whole craze for like the Star Wars, and I never got, I don't do true crime ever. I know that's like for some reason that's a big thing people like. They really like those true crime stories and stuff, but that freaks me out. I don't want to know about how someone could take advantage or prey on you. Like, I can't deal with that. My anxiety gets too bad. I do not need to know how horrible people can be. My imagination does that well enough, thank you. But like that seems to be a big thing that people talk about at work and stuff, and I'm like, are we discussing this for, like, why do you watch that for fun? But then again, I watch ghost shows and like ghost adventure, well, not ghost adventures, but like ghost hunter shows for fun, so that's different too, I guess. That's pretty much the only thing kind of like that I really watch, I think. I'll do orange. Not, oh my god, this is not orange, this is yellow. Okay, when does the video end? Soon, I hope, because I can't. But yeah, a lot of people seem to like the true crime stuff. And I'm just kind of curious as to why. Like, no one's able to tell me why besides the fact that it's interesting. And I guess I would say the same thing if you were to ask me why I like the ghost hunting shows. But I mean, I'm really curious if it's like because people find it interesting the way things like happened, or if they like try and get like more of a insight as to what's going on in someone's head when they do these things. I don't know what it is. I'm very interested to find out this. So if you are a true crime person, let me know why you find it so interesting. And I will tell you that I find ghost shows interesting because I'm very curious about what happens after we die. I have already decided that I'm going to become a ghost. And I don't know who I'm going to haunt yet, but I will probably have to be the one that's chased out of the house because I won't be very nice. Like, they'll do something I don't like paint the wall like a bright orange color like all my walls were in this house before we changed it, and then I'll just start throwing stuff. So it'll be something to that effect. That's my plan. But I'm really curious. I've always wanted to kind of know what drives people to find that interesting. It just makes me so uncomfortable. And even when I go visit my mom, she likes to watch those like CSI shows, and those make me uncomfortable too. And that's almost worse because it's fake. But it's like, you know, somebody saw something and they based it off whatever happened. Like, I don't know. And I mean, there's enough scary stuff that happens in real life that I don't need to know about. I just don't. And that's like non-nefarious, you know, true crime related things. Like all those people that go missing, like when they just go on a hike and stuff like that. Yeah, I've been watching certain YouTube channel that features things along those lines, mysterious happenings of hikers and that sort of stuff. I don't want to go camping anymore. That's official. I do not want to ever go back in the woods because I'm either going to be abducted by aliens, or Bigfoot's going to get me, or whatever is taking these people off of mountains, like when they're 10 feet away from their hiking buddies, is going to come get me. So I officially don't want to go in the woods anymore. I don't know. I know. I take small things and small probabilities and make it like 100% in my head it's gonna happen. And that's, I think, what's it called? Anxiety? Something to that effect. But there are some very interesting stories about that. And once I remember, I may actually link you guys to that specific channel if you would like to be scared of going out into the outdoors as well. Because there's some craziness that goes on in this world. See, like, I cannot keep my markers in the lines today. I guess I just need to go take a nap. Go back to bed and try again. Alright. I will be finishing up this border and then I'm gonna call it quits. I guess I don't hate it as much as I did before, but it's still pretty cringe. Alright, so there, we're gonna leave it there. I do not want to color anymore, and quite honestly, I'm thirsty. It's kind of hurting the talk. So I figure I'll go ahead and I'll leave it here. I will thank you for joining me, and I hope that the video was okay. I hope the shadows weren't too distracting because I can see them now that I'm looking into the camera. I hope it wasn't too distracting. I hope that my rambling wasn't too irritating while you try to color your own pictures. Feel free to show me down below what you've been working on. If I ever do finish this, I might post the results on my Instagram, but I probably won't finish it, just being honest with you guys. So anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have had some time to decompress and that you have a great week ahead. Stay safe, and I will hope to see you again next time with some other great art project. And if not, we'll just do something that I'm physically capable of without destroying my hand. I will see you next week, and I hope to see you then.